The water is silent now. Only the soft ripple of dying struggle remains. A pair of hands break the surface, delicate, desperate. Fingers claw at the air, reaching for salvation that does not come. Isabella Kingston is drowning. Her silk dress spreads around her like spilled ink, billowing as the water pulls her under. She kicks, thrashes, but the current is stronger. Above her, untouched, stands Ethan Kingston, her husband, her executioner. His tuxedo is unwrinkled. The champagne in his hand swirls in lazy circles, reflecting the shimmering pool lights. His lips tilt into a smirk as he kneels at the edge, looking down at her with something like amusement. And Ethan says, "You always were so dramatic, Bella." 24 hours earlier, the night is beautiful. A private villa in the Maldives, a candlelit dinner by the infinity pool. The water beneath them is crystal clear, separated from the open sea only by a thick pane of glass. At the table sits Isabella Kingston, a woman who once believed in fairy tales. Across from her sits Ethan, a man who writes tragedies. Ethan raises his glass and says, "To us?" His voice is smooth, practiced, but there's something else in his eyes, something cold, something final. Isabella smiles, though she feels the first prickle of unease. Then Ethan slides an envelope across the table. It is thick, heavy, unmistakable. Isabella picks it up, opens it, reads. Her heartbeat roars in her ears as she whispers, "You want a divorce?" Ethan chuckles, swirling his wine, and he says, "No, Bella, I need a divorce." She flips to the last page, her breath catches. The fine print reads, "In the event of Isabella Kingston's untimely passing before the divorce is finalized, all assets transfer to her husband." She looks up, and Ethan is already watching her. Years ago, a little girl stands at the edge of a wooden dock, her small hands clenched into fists. The lake stretches before her, dark and endless. Her father stands behind her, his voice warm but firm, and he says, "Go on, sweetheart." But little Bella does not move. She's afraid. The water is too deep, too dark. Then, sudden hands, a shove. She falls. The world turns cold. Her small hands reach upward, but no one pulls her out. She wakes up coughing on the shore. A voice whispers in her ear, "You'll learn to swim someday." But she never does. And now she's married to a man who knows it. Back at the glass-bottom pool, the night is still. Too still. Ethan pours 2 glasses of champagne. He watches Isabella carefully as he hands her one. And he says, "One last toast, my love." Isabella hesitates. She knows what's coming. Ethan tilts his head, eyes full of mock concern, and he says, "You look tense, Bella. Join me at the pool's edge." A heartbeat of silence. Then she steps forward, and Ethan shoves her. Isabella falls. The water engulfs her, swallowing her scream. Ethan watches, waiting, smirking, and he says, "Breathe, darling. It'll be over soon." Then, the pool floor shifts. The glass begins to open beneath her. The ocean waits. Isabella thrashes, reaching, fighting, but she cannot swim. Ethan tilts his head, studying her last struggle like a man watching art. Then, sudden movement, a second click, a shift beneath his feet. Ethan frowns, looks down, and now it is Ethan who is drowning. His champagne glass floats on the surface, spinning like a slow waltz. Isabella grips the pool's edge, shaking, gasping, alive. She looks down at the man who once watched her die, and she whispers, "Quite the performance for a drama queen, wouldn't you say?" And as the water stills, as the night swallows the last echoes of his struggle, Isabella exhales, slow, steady, victorious. The drama is over. The queen remains. And as the waves pull away what was once the love of her life, she stands frozen, watching, remembering. Not all fairy tales end with happily ever after. Some end with whispers of betrayal carried away by the tide. Did Ethan deserve his fate? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe and join me next week for for another tale filled with twists and dark secrets.